team alignment for me is a critical success factor for organizations. And one of the things that I often share with people to help them understand in sort of a visual manner of what alignment really looks like is, I was a head coach for a football team in the police athletic league, and I was coaching the Pee Wee group, which is 10 to 12 year olds, and these kids were 75 or 80 pounds, and we wanted them to be able to hit and move the tackling dummy that weighed 200 pounds, and then we would have a 200-pound coach standing on it. And the only way these kids could move that is if they were aligned, hitting in the same direction at the same time with the same force. And the takeaway from that is they could move exponentially more than their total weight. They could move significantly more than that when they worked together. And that for me is how I think about alignment. When we have strong alignment, our capabilities are exponentially greater. So I'd love to hear your perspective on alignment.
Well, I started becoming interested in it, Jeff, when my CEO, Bruno Moscola, he's been my mentor in business and partly in life even. Brilliant man. He told me something. I asked him. I said, he sold a company for $415 million, and he just made a lot of money, a lot more than anybody I knew personally. And I asked him. I said, "What's your how did you get so good at this?" And this alignment starts with one to one because he says, "Jerry, it's simple. I know how to inspire and motivate people." And after sitting with him for years, we were in business in the hair salon industry for over 20 years. After sitting with him, man, this guy you could sit with him for 5 minutes and you're ready to take the heel. You're ready to go to war because he really does know how to tap in and inspire and motivate people. So that became my focus as a leader. We had 6 salons that were doing over a million each. We had to have a huge staff to really keep this going. And I said, I've got to learn how to get good at this alignment, getting people to, we do a 5-step process. We help. The main thing is getting people to getting the teams and the leaders to recognize where are the disconnections at. Because, like you say, that alignment is so critical to be able to put power behind it. But if there's disconnections, it's not going to happen. The staff is thinking one thing. Maybe they think the boss doesn't even really care for them. Or maybe they think, like many people think, is the boss is really only here for themselves. They're not that interested in me and what I'm doing. I'm just here to, they just want me here to work. And that's a real big problem in alignment. When the staff is feeling it's all about you and not about them, that's the whole of the problem for me. Uh, and then once we're on the same team, we've got to get the same vision. Because staff, it's like that too. Staff can be selfish. They're only there for them. They don't care what happens to the company. They'll go to another company tomorrow if this doesn't work. So once we get past this selfishness, then it's like getting the vision, everybody on the same vision. And obviously, culture, how important culture is. And I always told our staff, and it was partly true for us as salon owners, it's like you have your own brand. You're your own entrepreneur. I don't pay you, the clients pay you. That's how I pay you. And so getting, no matter what the business arrangement is, getting people to be accountable, treating the business like it's their own. When you can get a culture to do that, that's huge.